My partner can go quiet for half a day, read my message, and then come back like nothing happened while telling me they just needed space and that this is what independence looks like. It shows up in small, repeatable ways. I send a message in the morning, something simple like asking how their day's starting. I can see it's been read. No response. Hours pass. Their location, which used to be visible without comment, is suddenly unavailable, explained later as a glitch or an accidental setting change. In the evening, they'll send a casual text or call, talking about their workout, a show they watched, plans they're thinking about for the weekend. There's no mention of the gap. No acknowledgement that I was waiting or wondering. If I ask where they were or what they were up to, the answer is vague. Just out. Doing my own thing. The tone is calm, sometimes almost cheerful, like nothing unusual happened. In person, when we see each other, they're present. They're affectionate in public. They laugh easily, talk about their goals, mention how important it is to maintain individuality in a relationship. Around other people, they describe us as healthy and low drama. When it's just us, I notice that my phone stays face down on the table because I don't want to seem like I'm tracking their replies. I notice that I wait longer before sending anything, calculating how it might look. I notice that when they finally respond after a long silence, I answer quickly, so it doesn't appear like I was keeping score. I keep telling myself I might be misreading this. Maybe I'm expecting too much access. Maybe this is what secure people do, they don't need constant contact. I've replayed conversations in my head, wondering if my expectations are outdated. I tell myself that needing updates might mean I'm anxious, not that something is wrong. I've even said out loud, half joking, that I don't want to be that person who needs constant reassurance. When they say, I just don't like checking in all the time, I nod even though I don't remember asking for all the time. Just something. We met in a very normal way. A mutual friend's small gathering, nothing loud or flashy. We ended up sitting next to each other talking about work, complaining about how much time phones take up, laughing about how everyone seems burned out. They were easy to talk to. They listened. They followed up on things I mentioned. When we exchanged numbers, they texted that night. Not something intense, just a got home safe kind of message. It felt straightforward. Early on, things felt steady. We didn't text constantly, but there was a rhythm. If one of us was busy, we'd say so. If a response was going to take a while, there was a heads up. It reduced the mental noise. I wasn't checking my phone wondering what silence meant. It felt adult, balanced, like we both had lives and still made room for each other. That predictability made me relax into it. The first change was easy to dismiss. One afternoon, I asked if they wanted to talk later that night. The message was read. No reply. I waited, assuming they were tied up. Later, they called, chatting like normal. I brought it up lightly, saying I wasn't sure if they'd seen my message. They said they had, but didn't think it needed a response yet. I let it go. It felt small. Not worth turning into a thing. Then it happened again. And again. A message read during the day, silence until evening. When I asked about it, they said they didn't like feeling obligated to respond immediately. They said constant updates felt like pressure. I told myself that made sense. I told myself I should be more flexible. I postponed bringing it up properly because I didn't want to sound critical. I brushed aside the discomfort because nothing else seemed wrong. Over time, I adjusted. I stopped asking questions that required follow-up. I sent fewer messages during the day. I avoided asking where they were unless it was directly relevant to plans we'd already made. When we were out with friends, they'd talk about independence, about how important it is not to lose yourself in a relationship, and people would nod along. Privately, if I tried to explain that long silences made me uneasy, they'd get irritated. They'd say it felt like I was monitoring them. After those conversations, the mood would shift. Less warmth. Shorter replies. When I stayed quiet about it, things stayed smooth. I learned quickly which version of me kept things easy. The version that didn't ask. The version that waited. The version that didn't need clarification. That version was rewarded with normalcy. The version that spoke up was met with defensiveness. So I edited myself. Not dramatically. Just enough. I've defended this dynamic more times than I can count. To friends, I say we're just independent people. I say we trust each other. I say not everyone needs constant contact. In my own head, I tell myself it's healthy to sit with discomfort. I know it sounds small to say someone doesn't reply for hours, but it's not about the hours. It's about how quickly the label of controlling appears when I ask for context. I hold both thoughts at the same time. That independence is important, and that I feel smaller than I used to. I stay because I don't want to be the person who demands more than someone can give. I stay because I'm attached, because when we're together it still feels good, because there's nothing obvious to point to. No clear wrongdoing. I stay because walking away over something that can be explained as personal growth feels embarrassing. Like I couldn't handle a mature relationship. I stay because part of me is afraid that if I say this out loud too firmly, I'll confirm their suspicion that I'm too much. Leaving feels harder than it looks from the outside. There's no single incident to explain. No message I can show someone and say, this is why. It would mean ending something that still has good moments, knowing I might be told I overreacted. It would mean sitting with the doubt that maybe this is just how modern relationships work and I failed to adapt. It would mean losing the version of us that exists when everything is calm and uncomplicated. Nothing dramatic shifted my perspective. It was the accumulation. One evening I realized I'd been waiting to send a message for over an hour. Rehearsing it in my head, trying to make it sound casual enough not to trigger irritation. I caught myself checking the time not because I needed a reply, but because I was trying to predict when it would be acceptable to exist again in their day. That moment didn't come with anger. Just a quiet awareness that this pattern was shaping me. Right now I'm still here. I haven't made any decisions. I understand what's happening, but I haven't figured out what to do with that understanding. I respect their need for space, and I'm aware of how much space I've given up inside myself. I'm not sure where the line is anymore, between being supportive of someone's independence and slowly disappearing to keep the peace. Is independence supposed to feel this lonely?